Is this thing on? Okay, good. What's up, everybody? Listen, recently I posted a simple 3-word Facebook status update. I was wrong. Simple enough, right? But what does it mean? Wrong about what, right? Well, I originally posted that because I wanted it to pop up in my annual memory reminder kind of thing. Of course, nobody knows what it means. I posted it for myself. I want it to be a reminder for myself every year. Like, on this day, last year. But after a few people have sent me messages and they've asked, why did I post that? What does it mean? I've decided, I think I'm gonna share it with you. I probably should share it with you. So I'm willing to bet that I actually can probably do some good for anyone willing to watch this video. So I'll share it with you. I'll share what it means. I was wrong. But, okay, let me explain. So back when I was about between the ages of 16 to 19, I was an atheist, and my worldview was much different than it is right now. I believed myself to be someone special, unique, unlike any other. I possessed life. I didn't know why, but it was obviously because the universe thought I was amazing, right? I believed I was someone of importance. I truly mattered, and that soon, everybody will know it, and they will probably agree with me. I truly felt like that I was one of a kind. I felt like, it was all about me. I possessed life. That's how it was when I was young. I didn't understand life, but I possessed life. What do you do with that? What is your response to the knowledge that you possess life? Well, it was all about me. My life. Well, recently I have had the blessing, yes, you heard me correctly, and you'll wonder why in a minute, the blessing of my truck being smashed in an accident. You're like, well, now hold up, now wait a minute, no. How is that a blessing? Right? How's that a blessing? What does it have to do with me being wrong anyway? Well, okay, so I know someone. You know someone? I know. It's crazy, I know someone, right? So I know someone. This person shall remain nameless in order to protect identity of the innocent. Okay, so this certain someone has a daughter. The daughter has a friend. Both the daughter and her friend, they lied to me. They both told me that the friend was old enough to drive, and they even showed me some plastic, and it said driver's license on it, and the picture on the plastic said driver's license on it. It matched the friend. Okay, you have a picture. That's you. There's a barcode on the back. Okay, the friend she has a driver's license. Fine. A mistake on my part is I allowed the friend and the daughter to take my truck and travel what should have been a short distance to go get food for a group of us, because not everybody wanted to go. So it seemed like a good and easy solution at the time. No one has to argue and fight about who's going, who is staying. In fact, they were arguing and fighting because of everything. Anyway, the two, you go get food, bring it back to everyone. Everyone's going to have food in their belly. Everything's going to be fine, right? Wrong. So wrong. So very, very wrong. The two ended up wrecking my truck. As it turns out, the friend did not actually have a driver's license. No. And they didn't only drive a short distance to go get the food and then come back like they were supposed to. No. Why would they, right? Where they wrecked my truck was about 20-minute drive away from where they should have been. But this is not why I wrote I was wrong in my status update. Let me explain. So, because of the accident, I have to shell out an amount of money I don't really care to pay. Let's be honest. I don't really want to pay it. It wasn't on my to-do list at the time. But there's a price that needs to be paid. Who's going to pay the price? Well, here's my situation. There is a lawyer who wants to fight for me on my behalf to make the parents of the daughter and the parents of the friend pay for everything, including the deductible, the price of the rental car I'm currently using, and the depreciation that will inevitably be associated with my truck when I get it back, whenever that is. However, the parent of the daughter is a single parent. The parent of the friend is also a single parent. But like I said, there's a price that needs to be paid. Who's going to pay the price? Well, I have decided that I'm going to give the gift of mercy to both the single parents, give the gift of grace to both the daughter and the friend. I'm going to absorb the penalty. I'm going to pay the price. They did lie to me and did drive my truck where I never gave them permission to go, but I'm going to absorb the penalty and pay the price as an act of love. I'm not going to punish the parents because of the children. And I also want this to become a life lesson for the daughter and the friend that they will hopefully never forget. I want them to know how powerful forgiveness is and how grace can set people free. But I also wanted them to know and to think about how living a life of lies and selfish behavior can ruin the lives of other people. I mean, I want them to know what they did was wrong and that they could have been killed in that accident. They could have even killed the 8-year-old boy in the other vehicle that was involved in the accident. I want them to know they have been blessed with grace and they need to be grateful. I want them to know that lying about having a driver's license, taking my truck for a joyride to go somewhere I never gave them permission to go, that could have landed them in prison or the grave. Unlike many people who are rotting behind bars, they get a second chance to live life right. And the parents have actually already told me they're going to make their children work to pay me back. That's a good life lesson. You know, I'm all for people dealing with the consequences of their choices, right? So if they pay me back, okay. It's important that we learn from mistakes in life. I learned yet another lesson. Unfortunately, it's one that I've already learned. I've learned this before multiple times. It just happens to be with a new person every time I learn it. I learned that even if I truly believe that someone loves me, that person might still lie to me and use me to get what they want. I just didn't think it would happen to me this time. Not with this person. Not with 5 years of history. I believed that this person loved me enough not to lie to me. But sadly, I had to learn the lesson the hard way yet again. Pain and suffering is always possible in a world where free will exists. But free will is the only way a loving relationship can be authentic and meaningful. But through all the pain and sadness that someone I knew and loved would lie to me and use me, I also learned another valuable lesson about grace. Now, if they pay me back the money, okay. But it doesn't need to be immediately paid back either. I'm not going to hard press them for money. In fact, if they decide later on not to even pay me back, I'm not going to hunt them down. I mean, they're going to have to be accountable for their choices sooner or later. But through this incident, God reminded me of how many times God had given me the gift of grace when I did not deserve it. I mean, I've done things, if not just as bad as that, then they were worse. The difference between me and the daughter and the friend is that I never got caught. But on the cross, Jesus paid the price of my sins. Even though he was innocent, he did not deserve to absorb the penalty. Jesus gave me the gift of grace when I did not deserve it. Why would I not also show that same love to someone else? And that's why I decided to absorb the cost and to pay the price for what the daughter and the friend did, mainly for the sake of the single parents, but to also give the daughter and the friend an opportunity for a second chance. Because I believe that second chances, we need them a lot in life. And I'm believing that they're going to learn from this and make it a life lesson and grow from it. But when I wrote that I was wrong in my Facebook status update, I meant that I was wrong when I had once believed it's all about me. It's not. In fact, love is about others, not self. In 1 John 3:16, it is written, "By this we know love. He laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters." In John 15:13, it is written, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lays down his life for his friends." Listen, I mean, in Matthew 18:21-35, Jesus tells us the parable of the king forgiving and excusing a large debt of a servant. And then that servant was expected to do the same for others. Now, in that parable, he didn't, but it's what you're expected to do. Now, I was that servant who had been forgiven and cleared of my huge debt of sin, of all the wrong I've ever done in my life. I was given the gift of grace. And Jesus expects me to do the same for others. How could I possibly hard-press the parents for a debt when my true debt was paid by the blood of Christ? How dare I go after them with revenge in mind when God calls us to chase after people in love? If you don't know what Jubilee is, I challenge you to look it up in Leviticus chapter 25. The book of Leviticus, chapter 25. Read about Jubilee, where debts are cleared. Anyway, Matthew 6:24 says that no one can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one, love the other, he will be devoted to one, despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Look, I love God, and I love people. I don't serve money. Money's not my God. By choosing to give the gift of mercy to the parents and the gift of grace to the daughter and the friend, I will at worst lose a truck and money. That may sound like a lot to some of you, but you know what? Sacrifice is oftentimes it's required to love someone, to invest into people's lives. Plus, my God is greater than my problem. And God will restore anything I lose while choosing to serve God and love others. I choose the gift of grace, and I challenge you to do the same. I mean, I was wrong. It's not about me. Are you making life all about you?